This is SGA's ring.
6-8-14 with the record on there.
I got the NBA. We got the Jerry West there and the 0 of 2025.
Some blue sapphires.
What else do we got right here? Oh, we're dropping Latin.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that meant.
That's the playoff run there.
Okay, the playoff run. And look, hear about this one. So you open it up.
Oh, and the trophy.
No, wait a minute. Watch. It's a band.
It's a band. It's a ring inside of a ring. Yeah, I heard that.
Precious.
Look at that.
Wow. That's pretty ill.
Does that mean you're married to your job? Is that what that means?
Married to the game,
married
Rich.
To the game.
You're married to the game.
You got to be married to the game.
The top part screws off. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, these are unbelievable.
All right, yeah, and look at that. All right, now let's bring in Kurt Warner. You there, Kurt? Did you see that? Did you see that ring for the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I did see that. It's a whole different deal.
You got yours?
Ironically,
do you have yours?
I actually do. I do actually have mine right here.
But
it is nothing like what you see nowadays with the wings popping out for the Eagles, the wedding band. I mean, holy cow!
I know
it's crazy.
It's like bottles of wine. It's like a screw top. There's no screw top on your ring. There's no screw top.
No. I don't have anything popping out of it. Nothing like that. I'll still take it. I still like it.
Let me see it. Let's see it one more time. I love how you just by the way, you had no idea that we were going to play a ring video either.
No, I had no idea.
Yes.
Did you get yours personally handed to you by Georgia Frontiere, Kurt? Is that what happened? What was your ring ceremony? There was no ring ceremony?
No. I mean, we did have a ring ceremony like everybody else, but it was everybody kind of opened at the same time. You get the little box, delivered to the table, and then it's kind of like on Christmas with your kids. Okay, everybody's got to wait. All right, now go open, and everybody gets to open and react together. So cool moments.
Now, last thing here, Kurt. What would happen if your ring did have a band inside of it, and you told Brenda, hey, tonight I'm just going to take this off and put the football band on? What would Brenda's response be to that, Kurt?
She pretty much say, you got 9 other fingers. Don't mess with that one, right? Don't mess with that one, right? Find another one, get it fitted for another finger. But not that one.
Yeah, by the way, that's for the bachelors on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Right. That band, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way you're otherwise wearing that particular port. You're keeping that inside the screw top. All right, Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. It's all part of Warner Wednesdays, as always, here every single Wednesday. Appearing here throughout the playing season right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Back on our radio feed, ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Kurt Warner here on the program. Kurt, we're now a few days removed from what we saw in London. Can you put into words what we're seeing from Matthew Stafford this season, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, he's just in full control of everything. You know, in the past, I mean, we've always seen, great play and the special throws and, how gifted he is as a thrower. But I think a lot of times what came with that was some big risks, some turnovers along the way. And right now, he just looks to be in that zone. And I mean, even the game that we saw in London, I mean, they didn't really ask him to do all that much, so to speak. He wasn't winging the ball down the field, but it's about managing it. And it's about making the throws that are there in front of you. And, even some of those short throws that he made were really great throws in that game. But that to me is what it feels like, is that he's gone to another level just in terms of the way that he's playing the game and the way that he's got a comfort level in that offense. And, I mean, even in that, I don't think we ever saw the ball in harm's way that entire game. It's just protect the football, make the throws that are there. He's going to make some of those special throws, whether it's a sidearm throw for the touchdown or whether it's the long naked bootleg where he flips the hips and throws it 45 yards on the dime, for the touchdown to his tight end. But that to me is what I'm seeing that's even different than we've seen in the past, is that, to making those throws, taking, those risks, but, fully comfortable doing it and not putting the ball in harm's way. And, it's got this offense and this team playing really, really well.
What's your takeaway from Bucs Lions, Kurt? What's your takeaway from that game, the Monday Nighter?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, when you look at the Bucs and their offense, I mean, they're just trying to get guys healthy so they can know who's going to show up and who's going to be there every time out. They've had guys in and out of the lineup and they've done well, and Baker's been great. But it's just a tough thing when, you go in, you finally get Mike Evans back, and you probably have a big package for him, and there's no Chris Godwin, and Ibuka was banged up a little bit, and so he's kind of the focal point, and then he breaks the collarbone, and he's out, and so now you're trying to shuffle guys in. So I think that's my biggest take, is that they got to get healthy and figure out who they're going to be, and give Baker kind of a solid group to work with, because he is playing at an extremely high level, but it caught up with them. Detroit went and challenged them and played man-to-man coverage, and they just didn't seem to have the horses to be able to match up. It wasn't a great performance from the Lions offense outside of a couple big plays and Jahmyr Gibbs, being Jahmyr Gibbs. But I think my biggest takeaway was just, kind of caught up with the Bucs finally. They've had so many close games, finally caught up with them. And then I really liked what Detroit did defensively, and they were really aggressive and attacked and did some cool things scheme-wise, I thought, in their man-to-man coverage that made it hard on the Bucs. So I think those are kind of my big takeaways from that game.
Yeah, I mentioned that I think the Bucs still have a shot to go on a Super Bowl run, even with Mike Evans out. Got a side eye from some here on the program, and then the googly eyes from the NFL account on Twitter from ESPN. And because Evans wasn't there in Seattle when Tampa went up there and won a shooting match. And at some point, Bucky Irving's coming back. Godwin will be back. There's and I don't think they're going to be terribly threatened within their own division. What do you say, Kurt?
I agree. I mean, when you have a quarterback playing really, really well, they have playmakers, like you said. I mean, Bucky Irvin to me is one of those explosive type players that is hard to replace. And and so you get Godwin back, you get him back. Their defense to me is always a wild card, and the wild card can go either way. Todd Bowles will attack you, and they will give you a lot of different looks, and they will create havoc. But at the same time, they can give up a lot of big plays as well. So I think a run for them obviously will be centered around Baker, but it'll be about that defense, and that defense being able to kind of, what do I want to say, lock in to the point where they're still going to attack, but you just can't give up those big game-changing plays. Because, again, in this game, Detroit struggled to do a whole bunch. They had the first drive, and then they had the long touchdown run. And outside of that, it was really a struggle for them. But they had a couple big plays along the way that changes the complexion of things. And so that will be, to me, the challenge for this Bucs team. If they've got to throw it every snap like they've been doing, the pieces in and out, but really about their defense. And does their defense create havoc during a playoff run, or do they give up the big plays, and does it end up costing them?
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. I want to linger on the AFC East a little bit here. Bills coming back from a bye week, and Drake Maye and the Patriots have been terrific. They just won 3 in a row on the road, including it started with that win in Buffalo. And I understand there were lesser opponents between that game and right now at New Orleans and at Tennessee. And this week they've got Cleveland before a home date with Atlanta, and then visiting the aforementioned Bucs. I want to give you the floor on Drake Maye, because 2 years ago you were talking about, hey, C.J. Stroud is not just an offensive rookie of the year. He looks like an MVP and a unicorn. And then Jaden Daniels was essentially hold my beer. Yeah. Are we seeing it again right now with Drake Maye? Right now, do you think, Kurt?
I mean, we're seeing something pretty special here early on in year 2. And I really liked what I saw from him last year, but he's made that jump. I said on something yesterday that I think he's playing the best of all the second-year quarterbacks. And Jaden Daniels was awesome last year, but not playing nearly as well. Bo Nix not playing nearly as well. And this guy just continues to elevate. I actually did a piece on QB Confidential about Drake Maye. And the thing to me that's crazy is, he went 21 for 23 in that game and setting records, and they're winning. But he left a whole bunch of stuff out there. I mean, there was a lot of easy first throws that he didn't take. And he took off running and did some of those creative things. And that, to me, is the next step for Drake Maye, is to take the layups, more like his predecessor in Tom Brady was so good at, hey, if they're going to give me 5 yards, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it every time. And I'm not just going to, I'm not just going to try to get big plays or go out and create, because we saw it put him in harm's way in that game. He took that big hit and had to come out of the game. And there's a lot of those that he doesn't have to take because the offense is working for him. It's right in front of him. And, making the big throws down the field, probably the best deep ball thrower in the league right now. But some of those layups and some of those on schedule plays, he's got to make them. And he can't just keep relying on putting his body in harm's way over and over again. We know he can do it, and we know he's going to make a few plays a game that way. But to me, it's too much taken off too quickly instead of, allowing some of those things and the guys around him to make plays for him.
You're saying he went 21 to 23 and turned down layups? Is that what you were saying?
Turned down a bunch of layups.
Wow.
Like a bunch of them.
And you think he's the best deep thrower in the league right now?
Yes. I mean, it's like a handoff when he's throwing it down the field. It's got great touch to it, great pace on it. There's even, a couple throws in the game where you're just kind of like, there's nothing that really says throw that deep hole shot, all by itself down the right sideline. But he's like, I'm in a zone. I'm going to take it anyways and drop a dime over a corner and beat a safety. And it's like, ho-hum, just another throw. So, he's doing some really special things down the field with the ball. But like I said, I just think there's room to grow, and there's more out there for him that will make the game easier on him. And, that's what you want to try to do, is make it easy on your quarterback, make it easy on yourself as much as you can, because you're going to need a couple of those special plays through the course of a game. But you just don't want to have to live in that world. And right now he's just playing a little bit too fast on some of those things. But he's doing a lot right outside of that.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. In the pre-broadcast Zoom that we were having with Justin Fields prior to the Jets and the Broncos, Justin Fields called himself his own worst critic until the owner of the Jets stepped to a microphone yesterday. You know what I mean? There does appear to be another worst critic. This is what Woody Johnson had to say about Aaron Glenn's job status.
What's your confidence level in Aaron to turn it around?
Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. It's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. He has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league.
It was like Woody Johnson turned into a longtime listener, first-time caller on WFAN, or ESPN in New York, Kurt. So what should Justin Fields think when he hears this, Kurt?
I mean, obviously it's never a fun place to be. The only thing I would say is there is some truth in there, not that Justin has just played awful, because I don't think he's played awful. But there's also, we talk about leaving stuff out there. I mean, we could talk about our game, over in London. There wasn't a lot there, but there was enough there and enough easy things there that if he makes those plays, they possibly win that football game. And that to me is kind of what Woody Johnson is talking about, is like, we got to have those things. Like, you have to make those plays as a quarterback, and you've got to be more consistent than Justin Fields has been, because this isn't a good team. Like, this team has not put it together. They're still trying to build in all these areas. You've got to have better play from your quarterback. And so I understand where it's coming from. Obviously, it sounds extremely harsh, because it sounds like everything is being put on Justin Fields, and that's definitely not the case. But you went out and you signed him to $20 million a year. You brought him in here to be your starting quarterback, and you've got to get more from that position. You just have to. If you're going to be competitive and you're going to win on a week-to-week basis, you've got to get more from that position. And and I talk about it all the time, because going into our game a couple weeks ago, I mean, we can throw out the stats. It was 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and he had 100 quarterback rating, and so those things sound really, really good. But the bottom line is, just like we saw again in our game, is holding the football and not taking some throws. And that might mean throwing the football away and dropping your rating. That might mean putting the ball in harm's way a little bit and throwing an interception, but it's taking chances and it's pushing the ball down the field, because the team needs some big plays. They need some things down the field to be able to, kind of subsidize where they're at as a football team right now. And so, again, it's a tough place to be, but it's part of what comes with the territory is you've got to play good football at that position if you're going to win football games in this league. And if you're not a very good team that's rebuilding and trying to figure it out, you've got to get better play at that position. And I don't think Justin, he's mentioned it. He talked about it the last couple of weeks that he's got to be better. He's got to play better. But never a fun spot when the owner of the team comes out and makes a statement like that.
No question about it. What's happened to Tua, just simply put, Kurt?
I just think he's lost his confidence. All the things that he's done well over the years, he's not doing now. It looks like he's second guessing everything. He's questioning every decision and every throw. I mean, I mentioned it like a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Had an interception early where he came back and dropped back, and there was like a skinny post or a quick in to Jalen Waddle. And that is a throw that he hits his back foot and he throws that thing every single time. I mean, that's what he's made his money doing. And he comes back and he hesitates, and then he double pumps it, and then he throws it late. And Jalen Waddle is over there going, well, like, okay, he didn't throw it on time, so I don't think the ball's coming. And the ball hits him in the numbers, and it pops up, and it's intercepted. And it's just that to me is kind of what's going on in Miami right now. Is just everybody is second guessing everything, and Tua is second guessing every decision and every throw. And a guy that used to be great in terms of anticipation, great in terms of accuracy, those things have gone out the window. And in a timing-oriented offense, and when you're a timing-oriented quarterback, and those things have gotten away from you, it looks like it's looked the past few weeks. And I mean, you just sit back and there's some things structurally. I've always talked about that offense that makes it hard on a quarterback. But Tua was the perfect player within that system because of certain things and superpowers that he had. And right now, everything is a mess there. And, it's Tua, playing without any confidence. And when you have to go back and play this position with no confidence, and you're asked to make play after play, and you're asked to anticipate and throw into tight windows, and you've lost your confidence, it is a tough place to be. And we're seeing that right now. The hesitation from Tua is killing him and killing this offense. And again, the hard part about it is, okay, you've lost it. And we're so used to thinking, okay, these guys are pros. These guys have been through it before. Just go find it again. Like, you've had it and you've played great in it. How did you lose your confidence? We don't really care at this point. Just go get it back. And it's just not that easy because you feel like every mistake you make goes the other direction. And when that happens, now you get afraid to make, decisions and afraid to make throws because you're like, is this one? I hit my receiver in the numbers and it was an interception. Now what? And so that to me is where he's at right now. And it's not as easy as just, pushing a button or going out there and letting everything else go and just say, okay, this week I'm going to be confident. It just doesn't play out like that. He's got to start making some plays, and they got to start playing better for him to kind of build that back up and get back to where he was a couple years ago.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. Listen, it's a long season, as we all know, and everything that we just discussed can be turned around, including what we just mentioned. Although it doesn't look great in Miami, and case in point is the team that we left in Brazil. Yep. The Chiefs don't look at all like that team at all right now. Are they back, Kurt? Are they back? What do you think?
I think they are back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about early in the season. It didn't look like Patrick Mahomes was confident, was comfortable with what they were doing. And,
right.
We've talked a lot about how they wanted to kind of change their scheme and get back to making the big plays. And it just didn't look comfortable. It didn't look like, he had confidence in his guys, and his throws weren't coming out anywhere close to his guys. And now they've gotten back to what we've seen from this Chiefs team over the last couple years. And it's the quick throws. It's the RPOs to supplement the run game. It's, the things that Patrick can do, moving with his legs and making throws on the run. And, now they've got their weapons back, and Rashee Rice coming back into form, and their defense is playing like, yeah, I mean, this was a team that spotted everybody a couple games to start the season. And now, they're hitting at full speed right now, and they are playing catch up with all these other teams that seem to be sputtering a little bit, like the Chargers and the Broncos and that sort of thing. And so I don't think anybody is going to want to play this team that they do. I mean, when you look at the AFC, when you looked at it early on and Chiefs were struggling, you're like, oh my gosh, there's lots of teams up there that could, push for this thing. And now you're looking at the Ravens at 1-5, and the Buffalo Bills struggling a little bit, and the better teams in their division struggling now down the stretch. I think the Chiefs are sitting there going, man, we're right where we want to be. Doesn't matter that we didn't come out of the blocks fast. We're hitting our stride at the right time. We're confident. We're feeling good. We've got our guys back. And I do think they're the team to beat in the AFC as of right now.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before I let you go, the usual question. Quarterback that looked the best on all 22, Mr. QB Confidential. Everybody, by the way, check out Kurt's YouTube channel, QB Confidential. Who is it this week?
Yeah. It would be hard to argue with a Drake Maye that went 21 for 23 in a game, but I already told you that I felt like he missed a lot of things in that game. I thought Patrick Mahomes played really, really well. Sam Darnold is rolling, but I'm going to go back to somebody that I've already mentioned once, and not on necessarily one of the best teams in the league, but Dak Prescott is continuing to play lights out. 3 more touchdowns, no interceptions, big play after big play down the field. I thought he had the best performance again this past week. He is in. We talk about confidence. This guy's got it, and this guy is not hesitating, and he feels like he's going to make every throw that's out there, even if their defense struggles a little bit. He feels like he can lead them to a win using all of his guys. I mean, it's just it's fun to watch number 4, and Jerry Jones coming out and saying, hey, that guy, that's the guy that's indispensable. And right now, there's no question about it. You have a quarterback playing like that. He is indispensable for this team, but he's got them at least competitive right now because of the way that he's playing.
If I said the last 6 minutes, would you say Bo Nix? The last 6 minutes of a game, or dart, man.
That was
insane.
That was nuts. That was crazy. You're watching it play out, and I mean, even just the way things kind of went the Giants' way. They got the tipped ball, and the tight end grabs it and goes 40 yards for a touchdown, and you're just like, man, everything is going in their direction. And then it just, the interception by Jackson, and then the Broncos actually had a tipped ball that was caught by somebody else in the end zone for a touchdown as well. And so it was crazy. And it's crazy how this league, because of, I think, the rules and the way they're set up now, I think back a couple decades ago when I was playing, it was hard to come back from being down 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, obviously. And not that it's easy now, but because of the rules and because of, the way the defenses have to play softer, and the way that you get so many of these different penalties and things that happen, I think we see a lot more of this in this NFL, where teams can fall down a couple scores. And we've seen it a number of times. What was it, 2 weeks ago? We saw 4 or 5 teams come back from, 2 touchdowns down to win football games. I just think it's easier now. It's kind of like the NBA, where they say everybody can make a run, even when you get up by 20 points. It feels very much like that in the NFL too. And so no lead is safe, obviously, when a team goes in and scores 33 points in the fourth quarter to get a win.
Kurt, you're the man. Great time in London with you. I'll see you when our carriage turns back into a pumpkin on game day morning on Sunday.
All right. I can't wait. It was a blast, but I'm ready to get back to work. I'm ready to get back with the fellas. It's going to be fun.
And I look forward to getting back with you, because, maybe you'll start picking games better when you're back in the studio, because you're not in first anymore, pal.
No, I know. I was like the 2-minute drills we saw in London, man. I don't know what I was doing, and I fell apart.
I know. There are some behinds and elbows of that you're viewing right now, none bigger than mooches. But anyway, listen, good to see you, Kurt. I'll see you Sunday, bud.
All right, buddy.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.